Hey, Board of the Six, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Go ahead and take some speed cola. Thank you very much. Hey, look, I think, I feel good. I think we really solved something today. And by golly, I haven't heard anybody at all talking about this. Let me ask you a question then, huh? When is the first time that we saw the Dark Aether? Well, if your answer is Cold War, or technically at the end of the story, Tag der Toten, I now really believe you are wrong. Take an Ethereum crystal. I'm gonna get into exactly why. Round one, everybody, here we are. Look, there is a lot that I found out in the past couple days just by going back and playing old zombie maps. And let's step back a minute to our Chaos crew, right? A story canceled in Black Ops 4. Sadly, I thought it was very good. Did you like the cutscenes? We ended on a cliffhanger, right? Scarlet got possessed by Medusa. Some people got turned into stone. Apparently they were supposed to go to the Library of Alexandria, the next DLC map, which was apparently made but canceled. And then we didn't hear anything about that crew or any of the characters in that Chaos storyline, which Jason Blundell said, hey look, this is completely separate from the Aether timeline. Of course, now he left the studio and everything, so who knows if they'll change that in the future. I feel like the writers may be moving in that direction because back in Vanguard Zombies, right? We had a radio on the Shinonuma Easter egg talking and using, which is pretty much the Sentinel artifact from the Chaos storyline in Vanguard Zombies. The radio was talking about how Alistair Rhodes, Scarlet's father, would use the Sentinel artifact, which in the Chaos storyline was the way the zombies could pretty much spawn into any location, right? It was a bridge to their ether or whatever it may be, and it would essentially make the zombies just spawn out.
And officials in Okinawa Prefecture banded together to save their lord from what they considered demonic possession. In fact, this man had bonded with Syraxis, much the same way that you were. They arranged a visit to the swampy island where find yourselves and ambushed it with a special relic. While the page gives specific instructions on the use of that relic to sever the bond between a dark entity and its human host. It gives no description of the relic itself. Reminds me of when I studied the writings of Alistair Rhodes, an amateur demonologist and personal hero of mine. Rhodes wrote about different objects of power that he called Sentinel artifacts.
So Alistair Rhodes was mentioned in Vanguard Zombies. That pretty much says, look, is the Chaos story really out of the timeline? Or was that really just a cliffhanger we've been left on? Because why would they bring up story beats from a potentially canceled story if they weren't gonna do anything with them? And we know Vanguard Zombies, was just showing what the Dark Aether was and kind of its outbreak during World War II, if you will. But y'all, it was right here in front of us the whole time. I feel stupid that I didn't notice this because I love aesthetics, right? I love the looks of the maps that when going back and playing Black Ops 4, the Chaos story, it feels completely different. I'm here to say, look, I do believe that the Chaos story and Alistair Rhodes mentioned in Vanguard Zombies are the same timeline. All right, you've made it to round two. Go ahead and take some Juggernog, thank you very much, as I reveal to you today the reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. And that was to show you this. What do you see here? It's the old Dark Aether, thousands and millions of years before the current purple Dark Aether we have now. This one was red. This one was in Vanguard, but it wasn't just in Vanguard. Take a look at these crystals, right? And think about the Dark Aether crystals we have now. And let's travel over to Ancient Evil. As we see here, it's the same red crystals. Now, and you can say, look, these are just reused assets from Black Ops 4. They wanted to build on the Aether story. They already had crystals, so they used them. Well, why the hell did they go back then and make a conscious effort through Vanguard Zombies? A game which, really didn't have any huge story beats, considering its placement in the timeline, besides the Alistair Rhodes stuff. Like, why would they tie that in again? Why tie in the Sentinel artifact in Alistair Rhodes and the Dark Aether of that story, and then tell me that those aren't the same crystals with the same meaning? We know they're in the same timeline. We heard the radio. It's not like some different Alistair Rhodes, let's be real. Take an Ethereum crystal, it's gotta be the same timeline. A lot of the bosses and stuff we had in Black Ops 4 in that whole, area in Ancient Evil had already had a Dark Aether outbreak. It makes sense in the timeline too because World War II was far back, right? The 1916, 1912, Titanic sank, all that Ancient Evil shit. That was also a long time ago, right? So the Dark Aethers can match up. And then we get to this right here. where you have a bunch of the zombies in the Dark Aether Red Crystals, which means that maybe there was a Cortifex-led Dark Aether outbreak at Ancient Evil before we even got there that took place actually when Athens, Greece had citizens, had people. And like, that just adds so much lore, so much lore. So I hope when you go back and you play Ancient Evil, remember, that is the same Dark Aether as far as I'm concerned. Have we been explained otherwise? Should this entire video just be discredited? Or am I onto something here? You gotta let me know, be honest with me. But that is so cool in my opinion. Now, that brings us to round 3, and why I believe Chaos as a crew might be returning. You see, I am under the impression that Project Janus, the entire plan, is something to bring back Richtofen's family, right? Why would they show us such huge story beats of Richtofen's family getting burned and all that if it didn't play a part in his mental? And what would Richtofen want to do? Save his family, right? They're setting up this, is Richtofen a good guy or a bad guy, a Walter White type figure in this storyline, which I think is awesome, first of all. But we can think about a potential end game for that perhaps, right? Let's just say that somewhere in the storyline, because we all want it, Aether to return, the old universes to return, what if somewhere at the end of the story, could be in Liberty Falls, could be in a future DLC map, they finally bridge the gap between universes or come up with some way to access parts of the Dark Aether before they were corrupted, and people are like, no, it's been corrupted and they're thousands of years. Look, the writers can do anything. If there's enough fan service and we scream loud enough, maybe even the transit crew will come back. I don't mean actually scream either, that would just be obnoxious. But I feel like in order to defeat Richtofen, throw out an Easter egg or something, maybe the maps take place, right? Our DLC season maps this year. Maybe they take place in different compartments of the Dark Aether that we've opened, and we have to almost kind of finish their stories, finish the Chaos story, finish or get a better ending to the Aether story or the Victus crew in order to gather parts needed to ultimately defeat Richtofen in the last map. Look, that's just my theory, but I feel like somewhere in there is a chance that we may jump through and see Alistair Rhodes or the Chaos story. You know, maybe we need the Sentinel artifact for something that can combat whatever Eddie or Richtofen has built. I think it could be huge. And am I wrong about the crystals? Seriously, because I haven't heard anybody talk about that, and maybe it's for some sort of reason, but maybe we just kind of forgot that now we're in a new space to where Alistair Rhodes was mentioned in the Dark Aether storyline, which canonically would put it in the same storyline. And then, you know, we have the crystals that make sense. And thank you, Dr. Tofen 2.089 for letting me use that Vanguard gameplay. It came in clutch. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching. I know I got some new subscribers from the DK Dynamite channel, guys. He shouted me out. That was like the coolest freaking thing ever. I've been watching him for years. That's like a huge deal to me. So thank you very much. Even if you're watching this, dude, that's insane. I emailed you back. We're gaining subscribers. Things are looking good. I'm excited for this year's Black Ops 6 Zombies. We're gonna be making so many videos, guys, and I love diving into aesthetics, the soundtrack, the round start themes, game over songs, stuff like that. So I really hope you join me on that journey, guys. We are at 1.17K subscribers, and I can't believe it. It's been so amazing, and y'all, for 5,000 subs, I'm going to Mob of the Dead Alcatraz Island, San Francisco, in real life. And since we hit 1K subs, I'm already dressing up as Misty for Halloween, so stay tuned for that. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys.